Well, I wouldn't want to be Randall Emmett this week because he has this upcoming Hulu documentary. It's called Randall Scandal, Love, Loathing, and Vanderpump, which delves into these multiple allegations against the film producer. He told Page Six almost 1 year ago, the Los Angeles Times wrote a highly biased and factually inaccurate hit piece on me. One of the writers, Amy Kaufman, seemed to have a personal vendetta against me, I believe due to her alleged friendship with his ex, Lala Kent. He added, among other things, the article contained fictitious and greatly exaggerated stories made up by a few former disgruntled employees. Lala was also a participant in this fiasco, likely because I've been fighting for 50-50 joint legal custody of their child. So this expose back in June of 2022 accused him of professional misconduct and a series of allegations. Like we said, he has denied it time and time again. But can Randall sue this production company for defamation?
He can, but things are not looking good for Randall Emmett. I mean, you have this LA Times article, and they actually just issued another one just a couple days ago. And now you got this Hulu documentary, and at the same time, your ex, Lala, is doing quite well on Vanderpump Rules, and the ratings are through the roof. So this is going to be bad publicity. Now, if I were Randall and we're talking about one case or one allegation or even two, it's one thing, but there's a lot of different cases, a lot of accusations. So if you're going to go challenge this, you're going to sue the production company, there's a couple things that you need to consider. First, you're a public figure. It's harder to win a case, a defamation case, as a public figure. You have to show actual malice. That means that Randall and his lawyers would have to show that the production company knew the statements were false or acted in reckless disregard for the truth. And that's because he's put himself out there. He's not just a producer. He was a cast member on Vanderpump Rules. The other is you're dealing with First Amendment protections that a lot of these newspapers have. So to the extent that this is a documentary or this is newsworthy, it's harder to sue a publication. And of course, we all know that truth is an absolute defense to defamation. So you got to prove that not just these 1, 2, 3, all these accusers, what they're saying is untrue. That's a pretty tough legal hill for Randall and his lawyers to climb.
Yeah, definitely. And at the core of this, they said, you know, they're fighting a custody battle over their 2-year-old daughter, Ocean. And Lala has been speaking out a lot about the family court system. And he said that you know, she is speaking out so much to maybe sway the family court's decision. Could that possibly be the case? Would the family court watch a documentary like this and be like, he is not a fit father?
Well, anything can be used as evidence in a case, right? But hopefully a family law judge is going to make a decision based on the facts and the law and not a documentary. But I mean, we've seen it time and time again. Every week, you and I are together on this show and we're talking about these custody disputes and how nasty they can get. And, you know, believe it or not, sometimes these family law cases, they're even worse than criminal cases where people are going to prison for years or maybe even the rest of their life. And whenever you're dealing with something as emotional as a child and an Ocean here, I'm not surprised to see it get nasty. And sometimes exes use everything they can, including our justice system, to gain leverage in these types of custody disputes.
Yeah. You know, Lala sat down with Nightline this week and she talked about, and she's fighting against, it's called the reunification therapy in camps. I never really heard about that at all. So what exactly is that? And is that a common thing that people try to use to, you know, reconnect with maybe an estranged, you know, son or daughter?
Yeah, this is something that we've seen recently, and it's very controversial. You know, so you kind of have a preferred parent and an alienated parent, right? So whenever a child doesn't have a relationship with one parent, there are these reunification therapists or camps the child will go. They'll be separated from their preferred parent. And sometimes they'll spend days there talking about and trying to reunite with the estranged parent. Some people love it. They think it's great. Sometimes people think, though, that this really inflicts trauma on a child who's already going through a nasty breakup and divorce.
Right. And it seems like even at 2 years old, you know, it seems a bit young to maybe even entertain that thought as well.
Yeah, it really does. Because if you're 2 years old, you know, you're starting to learn to speak. You know, how can you really have one sort of parent that you have those strong feelings about, right, that you don't want to see, and you got to go through this reunification process. It's really meant for older kids, and after years of sort of separation or a strained relationship, I don't see how it would apply to someone as young as Ocean.
For more news, content, and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below, and visit usmagazine.com.